Very handsome man. You know, he's very handsome. He's a very handsome man. I hope I embarrass him. You know, and secondly, is a, how would I put it? When you are here and you are here, it's double. It's double. But inside the double, Nigeria is so, it has so much passion for the country. I mean, it's so patriotic. In fact, I call him king of grassroots. Yes, so as exposed as he is, I mean, that is an international figure. There are some of his profile that you do not to review, you understand? Apart from being a former governorship, candidate, one of the youngest and all that, those are going to change the face of things in my dearest state, that is Osun State and all that. He's a global like speaker, he's a medical doctor, he's a grassroots man, Somebody are talking about grassroots. Tell them that grassroots is a real deal. Come in, buy your ladies, rice your feet. I will give him a beautiful round of applause. Give him a lot of US from one of these meetings. Give him a big round of applause. That's a truth. I call him that. Yeah. And last but not the least that I would like to see is my darling sis. Because I've seen top 100 United Nations most influential people of African descent, blah blah blah, blow, international wanting. Please give it up for some from me. Top is a media expert. This organization cannot take away media literacy from what we do. And when we hold conference like this, one of the talking points is always media literacy. Okay, let's go. I'm running off. Please clap for both of you. Thank you for coming. Welcome and God bless you. See, I didn't give anybody on the radio. All people are paying no on the radio. It's on church. So please give them a clap. You can at least clap for them. Because it is your pro bono services. God bless you all. Let us continue this program. So my God, the light will pull you us. God, my leg can be lying. But in the meantime, welcome guys. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Oh, sure, I have known her for some years. She's always like this. Only Father Focus. What's in Europe, you could do the méjì on tẹ́lẹ̀. She's always like that. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to go on. I'd like to invite Madam to please step up to the table here. I'd like to ask Doctor to also step up and ask you, ma'am, to also please. So we'll take all the questions as you want them. Please, we're going to spend like 15 minutes trying to put all of this together. Listen. So all of us who have had our questions listed, or if you have anything you'd like to, I don't want it to be my question. I actually want the questions to come from your hand. So if you have questions, please just raise up your hand. I'll ask the microphone to come to you. The other microphone will be here. From all that we have had them talk about, I'd like you to, I don't want it to be that it's us. Because if this is going to have any benefit, it has to be you asking them what and what and what. So please, do we have any questions? Questions, comments? No. Okay, 1. Okay, 2, 3, 4. Let's do it this way. I'll just take the microphone. If there's a specific person amongst the 3 of them that you want to ask a question, I'll first take the people on this side and then come to you. So thank you. Let me start with. Okay, I'll start with you, sir. Sir.
Yeah, good day everyone. My name is Pampale Bola. So my question, I have 2 questions. One in the area of politics the need for young people to be more active in governance in their community, then media literacy as well. So for politics, I always tell people, politics is not dirty. Rather, we have some actors who are dirty in the game. Because politics covers a lot, almost everything we do in life as people. If you are educated, you need good governance. If you are not, you need good governance. So it's a lot of areas that we can't just exhaust. So my question is, okay, how do we have more people to be very conscious about governance in their community, which is very, very important. Because I've come across people who doesn't have understanding of what the role of state government, local government, and even federal government is all about. So how do we encourage more young people to be more active in governance? That's for you. Then for the area of media literacy, how do we get more involved as people to make sure we don't always have negative vibes out there about our country, because there is a lot of misinformation, daily misinformation. People just, social media is more like a leveler in today's world, which shouldn't be. There is need for us to engage our mind in whatsoever information we are putting out there. So how do we leverage on the good side of it to portray our country in a very positive way? We have challenges, yes, quite alright. All nations have challenges, but how do we portray good information out there about our country and to regulate misinformation? People don't just go out there and just type something that is absolutely not true. Thank you very much.
So please, we'll take the second question from this gentleman. I want you to just address them together.
Right. Good afternoon. My name is Daniela Kushimo. I'll start by commending this institute for putting on this program. This is my second time attending. I was there last year and it was very informative and insightful. So my question was this. I think there's a need for us to lay emphasis for youth nowadays to do more volunteering. Because like Madam Pastor said, we said we should volunteer, and I believe by volunteering we gain more expertise, more insight about activities. And again, to encourage this participation, there's a need for us to get involved at grassroots. Beyond coming up for program like we have our CDAs and local government, we have this counseling, these are platforms to drive this engagement, to bring change. So I just want to contribute this as my contribution and employ the speakers to talk more on volunteering, because I think by volunteering we are also getting more we are networking, we are getting more knowledge, and we are able to be productive with our time. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir, I can ask you to please make a response, and Madam will also talk to the media segment of it. So,
Hello. Okay, thank you so much. So I'm going to talk about the how we can educate people about politics. The problem we have, part of the problem, I don't want to generalize, is that we have let politicians describe politics to us. We do not take time to personally find out what governance and leadership means. And like the common statement on the top that if the hunter describes the hunt, he's always going to talk about how courageous he was in the forest. If an APC person tells you about politics, there's no way he's not going to lean towards the side of his political party. If the PDP tells you about politics, it's going to do the same thing. But have you taken out time yourself to research what leadership means, what politics means? And you see, it's also, I said something when I was trying to say you have to be your brother's keeper by making sure that your neighbors, you are educating your neighbors. Because until we understand that it is actually for the common good, if we are on this platform, for instance, and we want to choose a governor, and both of us, she votes for her, and I do not vote, and I say, oh, it's a dirty game, I don't vote. She's going to be the governor. Because there's only one vote. And here am I saying, I don't want to be part of it. and what she's going to do is going to affect me. So who am I doing? I'm doing myself. A lot of policy today, when people, sorry, I'm going to use maybe US elections also, students are looking at the manifestos of candidates and say, who wants to cancel student debt? Because a lot of people are in debt. So whoever wants to cancel student debt is who they are going to vote for, because they know it's going to do it. I work in an institution, we have billions of dollars in cancer research. We want to make sure the next president of the United States is interested in cancer research. Because if he's not interested, that money is going to be defaulted and we are all out of jobs. So if I say I'm not interested, what am I doing? If I say I'm not contributing, what am I doing? If I say I'm not doing media advocacy for that person. So if you think that you are at an intelligence level to make informed decisions, the focus lies on you to draw people along. Literally, you have to actually take up the activity. Do not wait for election time for a politician to come and tell you how good or how bad the society is. Don't say because you're part of a political party or because you're not part of a political party, it is not your business, you are doing yourself. Nobody goes to the market and say, I'm a member of a social political party, so sell rice for me at a cheaper price. Tinubu is good or bad, we are all feeling the effects. I do not understand that in this generation, anybody still needs to be told to get the voter's card. I think Tutu should have stayed there and said, if you don't have voter's card, don't come into this place, because you are doing all of us. You are a wicked person. Because I don't understand how busy. I'm a medical doctor. My colleagues, they will say they are busy. They are something. They don't want. They can't leave the hospital. I said, when I wanted to campaign, I went to the CMD of Obakomiano University. He said, Professor, he said, I know I cannot campaign. This is a political office, which I totally understand. What I'm saying is that is like the height of medical profession in Nigeria, to be the chief medical director of a federal university. But even at that height, if somebody that does not have two certificates because of governor or president, you can sack him. That is how important the person that leads the society is. You have been a professor, you have read all the fancy books, you have done all these things, but that person can sack you as a CMD, the politician. So I think the understanding on how important leadership, how important our political officers holders, we have not communicated that enough. And please don't let us wait for people, for politicians to describe or educate us about political process. Do research. Don't stay on Twitter or whatever. A lot of people don't know what House of Assembly does, don't know what local government does, don't know what Senate does. We just say everybody is bad. Tinubu is bad, but it's the road of your local government that you cannot fix. What's Tinubu's business with your local government, the road, your local government road? Just about 25% of the road in Nigeria is federal road. The rest are like states and local governments. But everybody is bad. So I think we have a responsibility. In some countries, I think in Australia or something, if you don't vote, they can send you to jail. And you pay fine. So we have responsibility as individuals, and that is how we can tell the next generation, or tell the women behind us that we think they are not educated because they didn't go to formal school, that mama, atifello dipo again, politicians they must have manifesto, don't let us wait for politicians to tell us how good or how bad the government is. Thank you.
That was awesome. Yes, I think I would address the issue of misinformation and fake news. I want everyone to know that this is not just peculiar to Nigeria. It's a global problem. It is how media thrives, right? Especially again with the advent of social media, all of these news platforms are after the clicks. That's how they make money. And like the popular saying, fake news and bad news sells faster. If you recall, while I was having my speech earlier, I explained that there's a psychology behind storytelling. So everything I say or everything you read on any platform, know that there's a reason. The intention is to spark a response, spark an emotion in you, whether positive or negative. But what you notice is that there's a negative news that spark and elicit more emotions. And that's why the media houses, I would not say that is responsible media ethics though, but sadly, that's where we are today. With the use of artificial intelligence, like it's now even crazier with artificial intelligence, because even voices now can be fake. That you heard the audio does not mean it is real. So we're combating a huge menace, and it's not just peculiar to only Nigeria, it's a global problem, but you do not want to be used as a clickbait. All of these guys, this is how they make their money. And I think it's very, we must refuse as young people not to be used as clickbaits, right? Now, how do we then begin to use media purposefully and more responsibly? The first thing is that you cannot engage without being armed with the necessary information, right? I think it's pretty much aligned with what he was saying earlier. You can't want to be a part of good governance and not even understand leadership, not understand governance, not understand economics, not understand demand and supply, not understand how the naira works against the dollars. You can't make informed decision that way. And so I think the plague, or what we are plagued with in Nigeria, is ignorance. Allowed ignorance. In fact, prideful ignorance. Right? I think 2023 elections, I would say, was an opportunity for young people to get closer to governance. But somehow they got distracted by the propaganda. It was the first time in a very long time that young people were really interested in governance. But sadly, they were distracted. At the time of 2023 elections, I remember, I didn't even know who I was going to vote for. Majority of the people wanted to vote for a particular person. I was almost going to. And then I looked on social media, I looked around, and I noticed that there were certain caliber of people who were, having great supporter of the recent president that we have. And for me, I'm like, if the way I think, right, when I'm presented with an information, I don't go for information because it's popular. Just because it's popular does not mean it is authentic. So I, took it upon myself to move closer to the guys who were campaigning for our president, for our current president. In my mind, I'm like, there has to be something about this man. We're all young. Not everyone has his antecedents and the precedents of who he used to be. There has to be something about this man. As a matter of fact, this platform I am on, the person who introduced me to Tutu, I met him on Instagram because he was championing for the present, precedent we have. And I had conversations with him, and it brought me so close to understanding the history of the country, understanding our problems, our challenges, and I had to start doing a lot of research. Because I'm a storyteller. You see, I'm here. If I'm not having information, I'll just come here and mislead you guys. Every time I'm penning down my thoughts and saying different things around governance, around leadership, if I do not have an understanding of what our challenges are, I will mislead the public. So there are two things that we're dealing with here. We have people who, in all honesty, do not know. They are ignorant. And then we have people who know what the issues are, but have decided to mislead young people for their own selfish interest. Those are the two things that we're dealing with. While we cannot, fully combat the sect of people or the people who have decided to use the information they have wrongly, what we can do as young people is hand ourselves with the necessary information required. Like I said earlier, do not marginalize the older people around you. We are in a generation where we don't read. And that's why social media is where we get information from, because the headlines are very small, very snackable, very easy to consume, and they feed into your emotions. Because you will not go back to read the full article. You only concentrate on the headline, right? So it's time that you begin to rub minds with people who know what the issues are, right? The peculiarities of the country, how governance is done worldwide, so that when you get on social media as a young person, and there are, information put out there by these different media platforms, even if you are the minority, because trust me, you are the minority.
Sometimes I get so overwhelmed and tired of correcting several biases on social media, several misinformation on social media. Sometimes the best I can do is to forward the link. I'll say, please, I'm tired, just read the link so you understand the backstory. I can't say too much. So we may be the minority in combating fake news and misinformation, but the onus is on us. If we're seeking to see a better Nigeria, we don't want information that would divide us, right? We don't want the information that will make it look as if we're not making any progress. We need information that is objective, that can help us in knowing what our challenges are, where we are, and where we can be, and how as young people at every level, we can be a change maker. And it starts with being armed with the right information. Be a part of it, understand the economics, understand how governance is run in a country like Nigeria. Understand all of these things. This is the only way you can use social media responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please let me take two other sets of questions. One I understand from here, and then we'll cross over to the other side.
Good afternoon, everyone. Kudos to all the speakers. I'm a people manager. And my question is going to Dr. YMVN. Please, sir, I want you to shed more light. How can you be a transformative agent or agent of change in your environment? Thank you.
Okay, please let me just take it from the back. We'll take one. Is identify them before, so please. Good to hear.
Firstly, I would commend the organizers of this wonderful program. Please forgive my accent. I'm a northerner. I might not be pronouncing the names as they are speak. My question would be directed to Mrs. Tokumi. I can share once again, please, I'm sorry for pronouncing your name wrongly. I'm Musa Ahmed, a northerner, like I said, from Kano State Prison before. I'm a guide of economics rather. I'm interested in SDG goals 4 and 8, particularly quality education and improving lives generally. But then I'm more concerned about SDG 4, which is quality education. I served in Ondo State, or Lukomi precisely, and I had the privilege of being the CLO, being the head core member in local government. All praises to God. Okay, well, I had the privilege of getting 2 awards. One, the best core member in the local government, having recognition from the state coordinator of Ondo State. Then secondly, for my place of primary assignment, I had the award of most outstanding core member. Now, these were the things that brought to that, and to add again that I'm into tech. I'm a data analyst, even though for now I'm unemployed, but then I have that skill. The major thing I want to ask is regarding my own way of solving problems. This is Mrs. Tofumi's one who has expertise in storytelling. But what I do is to change lives through other people's story. How do I mean? I talk about people like Ben Carson, people like Anand Kumar, a man who changed the life of, who transformed the lives of 30 children from the slums. And these people took exams, international exams like exams organized by IIT. And this, all of them got into, the institute. What is it? I got to all and I observed that, okay, this is most of what they do is, okay, after school, if you are a girl, you become Yahoo Papo, as they call it. And as a guy, you go into Yahoo. But I understood that it is beyond just taking them, teaching them in class. There were things these kids need to understand, they needed to understand rather. They needed to understand that despite the challenges they face, there are people who had similar challenges or worse challenges and became great. So I thought it is enough of the divide that exists in calculus, enough of the prerogative speeches, prerogative expressions and all of that. I tried to speak with the management and organize sessions where myself and other club members will come to talk to them. What we did was to film those, like we play those movies, but glasses to the gifted hands. I'm sure we all know that. We play them and in between the post and talk to them about what these people did. And to be honest, we found students who thought they won't be able to make things, having better grades in their exams. I can't say for now because I'm not more in all, but then all thanks to God, we're able to make impact. Now the big question is this. I'm sorry please. I'm sorry. Actually it's all very next as yeah, the question is this. How can I get recognition? Although all of these are on my LinkedIn page, how about the society check? But then the only thing is this. I wanted to apply for what do you call this Commonwealth Youth Organization Awards. They kept asking for records, for website and all of that. So please, this is not for me. I can share it. Once again, forgive my accent. I need to help me. How can I get this recognition? How can I get? Because I believe this is a nice idea. And I believe I'm able to invest in this will help. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So let me allow the panelists to respond to those. We'll come back to take the next set of questions.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me steal from your question. Yes. So, Mr. Ahmed, because I just like to talk to young people sometimes. I don't think you should apologize because of who you are, where you're from, your language. It's not even relevant. Once you're somewhere, you are there. You're supposed to be there. If you're at the table, you are supposed to be at that table. You do not owe anybody any apology. In fact, it waters down the contents of whatever you bring to the table when you start a conversation with an apology. So I just said, let me steal from you. Thank God, I think she's always. Just because, I think our society has tried to really make our youths a little bit, let me use good words like conservative and say, you're not supposed to talk, you're supposed to be mellow, which is great. You have to know when to talk. But let's just be bold, sit at the table as if we're supposed to be there, and wherever we find ourselves, you are supposed to be there. Okay, so back to my question. Back to my real, the person that asked the direct question. So he was asking how he can be an agent of change. I think that was literally what I said when I was at the podium. But to be specific, just to itemize things and just give a number to them, look at yourself. What do I have that I think this community needs? What skills, what do I have? And it doesn't mean the community, it might just be the next person to you. We have talked about volunteering here. We have talked about identifying even knowledge gap. I think this knowledge will just help these people. When I finished YX in about a couple of decades ago, I actually took people jam classes just for free because I feel that I can help them a little bit. I like teaching, and I took them jam classes in my community for free. If you think that you have enough money to build a borehole and you feel that there's a need for water in your community, donate it. If you think you don't have money, there's a lot of non-financial what's it called, skill set. I don't know what the best English to use for it, but not things that you have to dip your hand into your pocket to do for them. As kids, widows, women, men, all across the demographic, just to even cleaning, even making sure your community is clean, it's your responsibility. Because if there's a disease outbreak, then you have to be like, okay, it's the government, but people have died, right? Go to institutions in your community and volunteer. There are people, they always put, maybe they want to do blood donations, say, it's not my business, how many blood do I even have? I want to donate. Donate. Be selfless. You give back. People think they do not have, and it's very unfortunate. It's not possible. There's something that you have that the next person needs. And that is exactly how you can be that agent of change. Just to land on this, you see, change does not necessarily mean a new thing. It does not mean that you're flipping the status quo. It just means that you're probably moving something forward. It might mean that you're doing something a different way. You're adding to something. So don't look and say, oh, like our guy here, you have to be like a CNG chairman or something big. Just little. You'll be surprised. If you say good morning to somebody, you might change the life of that person or shake somebody. That's how, that very tiny thing. I've given, I think, maybe 500 naira to somebody, and the way they greeted me, I said, what's the problem? So don't look for the biggest thing. Just look into your community. We have peculiarities of our community. Your community is different from my own community. I can tell you like 100 things that we need in our community. But if you look around you and say, I can help these children that are always smoking and drinking belebe around the streets, let me call them and tell them the danger of it. Maybe they might not listen, but maybe out of 10, one will listen. You have been an agent of change.
Thank you so much, and thank you for that question. Don't worry, I understand you very well. And I understand why you had to take us on that journey. Because I understand that what you're trying to say is you're putting so much work, but no recognition. So I understand. And for a very long time, I was called an unsung hero. Right? I've been in the media space for over 11 years. I started as a magazine publisher in my 300 level days in the uni. I have published about 17 editions, but I don't think I'm the most popular person, even within my community. But that's never been my why, right? So you need to get your why. You need to know your why. So are you doing this for impact, or are you doing this for recognition, right? Because if you chase recognition, you may lose your focus, right? So it's very important that you ask yourself, why are you on this journey? Why do you want to change lives, and why do you want to impact lives? Because trust me, if you're doing it for recognition, you might not get the recognition that you want, or you might not get the recognition that you're due, or your worth. So the most important thing is to get your why clear. Why are you doing this? The second thing I would say you need to get clear is your brand messaging. For the past 11 years that I've been in media space, everybody who knows me, everybody that has had any close relationship with me can tell me what my brand messaging has always been. And it has always been around youth. It has always been around youth development. So anyone who knows me, far back as 11 years ago, know that I've always told stories about young people thriving. And I was doing this behind the scenes. As a matter of fact, all I have done is tell stories of other people. And that's why they call me storytellers. But because I've been consistent with my brand messaging, I've been consistent with my goals and my vision, that's why I have the opportunity of being on the platform like this. So I have established the fact that you need to know your why. Please do it for the impact and not for the recognition. Secondly, would be your brand messaging. Be sure as to what your goals and objective is and what you're trying to say, and be consistent in it over a period of time. The third would be visibility. You have to make use of social media. Whether you like it or not, you have to be able to carve a niche for yourself, making use of social media to gain some visibility. You give it time, and the recognition that you're looking for, you will get it. But please do not make it be the sole reason for what you're doing. Thank you.
I'd like to chip in here. I think for me, and particularly to those who want to have a strong voice in the community or in the society, one thing, you must be known for one thing: integrity. Your message can only make an impact if nobody finds any skeleton in your cupboard. It's very important. That's number one. Number two, the young man who was talking, I didn't quite get the story, maybe I didn't quite get it. So you need to be able to communicate effectively. That is to say it as it is. Because everybody is busy. The people you're going to meet for help or for assistance or whatever, they all have their issues. So go straight to the point. There was a young man who was talking about community, and then we have talked about it all day, that you need to know your environment. And this is a project that I think taken away from here, your local government chairman or chairperson, Adetutu has said no more excuses. But for you to come forth with a project, have your data complete. Don't go and then they keep questioning what you have said or what you have presented. Have your information correct and complete. Because if it's not complete, you will go, that would be an opportunity. Okay, what about this? Go. Then you'll be wasting time going forth and back. Have your information complete. A lot of development comes from data. If you don't have the data, I did the PhD because I wanted to specialize in a particular area. And specialize in a way that there's nothing you will talk to me about in that area I will not be able to understand. That's just it. I didn't need it for promotion. So don't look, because whatever you do, whether you say it or you don't say it, somebody somewhere is watching. Somebody somewhere is watching. And they're going to take you at the time you don't expect it to where you are heading. Thank you.
So please, we'll take the next set of questions now.
Good morning to you, great conveners. My name is Comrade Ambassador Olusola IHRM, an international human resource and international volunteer, as well as an accountant internationally. My question goes to you. As a community leader for over 2 years now, we have discovered that there's this mindset of setback in the youth that has drawn the youth far away from governance. How do you cure the menace that even the people themselves refuse to find solutions to? And how do you draw the people, the youth, closer to the government when they are running away from what they need to know?
All right. Good afternoon. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Prince Paul Odibo. This is my question. The question goes to Dr. Bayonle. My question goes to you, sir. Talking about recognizing yourself and giving back to the community. Okay. How do you tackle tribal bigots and political bigots in a society or in a community whereby you are trying to give, or you as a youth, you're trying to help out? How do you tackle it? Because in a community where I come from, I've been able to try in my little capacity to give, and but I discovered that okay, maybe because I'm not from that tribe. You understand? So I have this kind of incessant backlashes and several tribal issues. So at some point I had to withdraw. You understand? I withdrew back. So how do you tackle that? Because if you go into it, it might escalate and result in things. So that's my question to you. And to Dr. Dorothy, talking about we are talking about a lot of things, and unfortunately, this is not a question, but I think I will plead if we can get your slide, man. That's if we can get your program. So that is for you. Then the last lady,
Sorry, it is. Okay, Tofumi, Madam Tofumi. I've been in the entertainment industry for close to 20 years, and I've been able to work as a director, as a movie director. I've been able to work as a writer and all the likes. But this is my question. Okay, talking about you as a writer, writing stories and all the likes. Okay, I discovered that for me, our first major problem we're having in the society is from the entertainment industry, because we have more. A mentor once said something: what you see and what you hear are what makes you more. Alright? So I discovered that our musicians do a lot. Do you understand? And the government has a lot also. Do you understand? So how do you cut this? Talking about the musicians, because we in the entertainment industry, you can't write negative about them. You can't. So how do you write? How do you work on this? Alright? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. I feel like standing up for this one, but I'll try and sit at the edge because I just always talk about this every time. Okay, so I'll start from you. How do you tackle tribal bigotry when it comes to participation or political activities, etc.? What I would say, simple and plain, is that when you are participating, know why you are participating, know what is on ground, understand the terrain. In fact, if you're participating and you don't understand the terrain, you should not be participating. So you have to know, okay, who are these people that I want to lead? Who are these people I think that my idea can be impactful on? Youngest of the candidates, I decided to run for governorship election. My friends called me and said, see, they kidnap you. We don't have money for ransom. I said, leave me alone, I will run. Many calls. The guy of my committee called me to the program and said, we know you were doing foundation. Shouldn't we should just stay with our foundation or something? A lot of calls came. But I knew what I wanted. And part of what I say to people is that, you see, participation and sometimes going that route. I mean, this I'm running against. I don't want to take your time. I would have given you some breakdown. So one of my friends who works for one oil and gas, he said, this guy you are working with, I know he has like 5 gas stations. In fact, I manage one of his gas stations. So he gave me ₦1 million 2 days after the election. He said, because I know you will be very broke by now. So I didn't donate upfront. I want to do this after, because I know that you'll be in a very serious position. That these guys are money bags. And I told them, I said, you see, you can't be out of the fence and be throwing stones inside. Sometimes you have to pay for experience. And that is part of my own sacrifice. In fact, it's part of my pay for experience that brought me here today. If I'm a regular guy on Twitter, will not notice me. Abi, na lie? Yeah, but it's on my Twitter, governorship candidate, whatever. But I went grassroots, I did everything, crossed my T's, dotted my I's, and I feel that I have really more experience now compared to somebody just by the sidelines talking about governance. Sometimes even I say things that seems like I'm supporting the government because I have been in that grassroots and I know the realities of some things. So they were like, maybe you are opposition. Why are you saying this? I said, no. If I was at that level, I might have been saying something different. So I said all this to tell you that you have to understand the people that you want to govern. It does not mean it cannot work, but think about your probabilities. Think about what you want to take out of it. I gave a talk at a church program like a month ago, and the person said, I'm in Lagos. I have lived all my life in Lagos. But my dad and my mom is from Osun State. Do you think I should contest in Lagos? I said, no. You are from Osun State. The first thing they will tell you is that they will ask you is that where are your parents from? That is the type of Nigeria we have today. It does not mean that you cannot win. But do you want to fight it? If you want to fight it, all the best to you. But do you want to go to your hot spot? If you watch basketball, there's a place, even soccer, football, there's a place that once that player is there, forget it. It will get inside. It does not mean you cannot score from another place, but do you want to go to your hotspot? I didn't know my mother is not from, I used to think my mother and my dad are from both Chicago, but it told me that my mother is from Bodakeke. So I knew my own history more than myself. But that didn't disqualify me, but I'm just telling you how people would think that. And things I've talked about, there are about 20 reasons why people win. As flimsy as he was the first person to tell me. Yes. He said, this one has told me, and I promised him. He said, you are a very good candidate, but this one told me first. So, how do you want to fight that one? This person is from my local government. How is it possible? I'm not glad. There's even a Yoruba adage that say, Omo, you can share the very. How do I want to fight that war? Do you understand? Money is there. Party affiliation is there. So there are about like 20 reasons which tribal sentiments also belong to. Do I want to change all that 20? I wish somebody can change it. I'll be happy. God bless your soul. But just look for where the hearts are less. Because they'll still look for something either way. Somebody said, we didn't even know you can speak Yoruba. I said, yeah, okay. I'll start speaking Yoruba from now on. Because they want to use another variable to disqualify me again. Yeah. So people will look for something. But make sure that they have less things against you than more things. And once they say, it's not even part of us, why do you want to start with that one? So go to your hotspot. Sorry, I think that's clear enough, right? Yeah, Nigeria today, let's do that. How can I think we asked about how you can be an agent of change in your community. I think that was the first question.
Yes.
I think I answered that. Yeah, I think I answered that already. Thank you so much.
Alright, I'll speak to entertainment, right? I think that was your question. The kind of music we put out there, right? And what we can do about it. So, you know that music has evolved over time. And the kind of song we sing now is a reflection of our culture. It's a reflection of the culture, right, in today's generation. So remember those days, it used to be Afro Juju, our songs then, also reflected the times we were at that time. So what is going on now is, the kind of music we listen to is a reflection of the culture amongst us. Because guess what, are you not consuming the song? Don't you have it on your phone? You listen to it now. So, and again, in a more holistic view, entertainment and the creative sector is contributing a whole lot to our GDP. So we cannot frown at it. It's a good improvement. However, what we can do is to begin to inspire a young generation of people who want to go into entertainment and make use of it in more constructive ways, right? Who want to shun mainstream and carve a genre, right, that tell better stories of the kind of culture we want to see within our society. If you look at Nollywood again, who is another sector under entertainment, you see that our stories are beginning to evolve. One time it used to be just love, 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 love. But if you go on Netflix now, you can see a lot of epic movies that talk about our history, right? Before now, there was nothing like that. So it means that people are waking up. And that's what we should look at. That's the way we should see entertainment. So as a writer, nobody is stopping you from going in or sharing your thoughts about entertainment. But you can do it in a more constructive way. You can begin to inspire young people on how to approach entertainment, right? On how to contribute to entertainment in a way that it takes us to the Nigeria we want to see, in a way that it inspires the right culture amongst us. And trust me, entertainment is a great tool for that, looking at the numbers and the interest of young people. Thank you.
To ask a question, I think I see a lot of women here, but No one has asked any question. Am I correct? What's going on? Why am I here? Well, what's going on now? So all this is where they do. Exactly. So what are the women doing?
Thank you. I am still the host of this event. I am. And it has nothing to do with gender here. It is not. It is an event. That's why I'm sharing this space with Billy. Right now, we have less than 1.5 hours to study. So I am trying to manage the time. But because Madam said so, we'll take the last 2 questions for this segment. The lady will have the very last thing. This gentleman will also make one contribution now. Don't worry, just stay where you are. I'll bring the microphone to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Abdulati Babajide, and I'm sorry I came in late, and I've been trying to raise up my hands. I was seated at the back, but I wasn't. So, yeah, to cut the story short. So when I came in, I heard you. I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Oh, Mrs. Tofumi. Okay, Miss, rather. So she mentioned some of the challenges we are facing as a country, and I'm glad she mentioned flamboyant ignorance as one of the major challenges we are facing. And I'm also glad she mentioned celebrated stubbornness, because as Nigerians, we are stubborn and we tend to celebrate that stubbornness. But I'm sorry, I didn't meet that part of extremism in the face of religion, and I think that is also what we are to talk about. So please, can you share light on that as a topic, extremism in the face of religion, how it affects us as a nation? Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take the lady, and then we'll go back to the top table. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Simeon Gibbs. Please, I would like to ask. My question is direct to Dr. Bayo. Please, I would like to ask. You talk about assisting or supporting your community. Let me just use myself as an example. Like, I have a skill of my own. So I notice whenever you want to support, maybe some teenagers around, maybe they have nothing doing. Maybe to train them how to know how to sew or whatever I do. I notice they take it granted because they don't pay for it. So how can we deal about it? Yes, that's my question.
Thank you. We'll take the responses now.
So I think I remember the question the lady, the guy asked the last time. He was talking about maybe recalcitrant youth not listening to teachings and what have you. And I'll just answer it simply and say there's a time everybody listens. You feel that people are not listening. The Richard Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I can call him my president. You'll be surprised at the time that he has a downtime, that he's probably on his phone. There's a time and a place for everything. You just have to study people. I always tell people think I'm busy. I am busy, truthfully, but I noticed that my mother in particular, she knows when to send a message that I will definitely either act or reply. And I had to verbally tell her, don't do this again. Because she knows that, see, this time, when in the model, when I'm doing. So, when you have youth, we might look very unorganized, rowdy, and everything. There's something that interests us. It might be football. It might be some place that we go to. It might be something. You have to go where they are. You have to meet people where they are. And when you meet them there, they will listen to you. Yes. I mean, you also have to be sensitive. either to what is going on around them. There's a time we don't want to hear anything. We're young people, we don't want to hear anything. There's a time we are hurting. Let them be. And there's a time that really you'll be surprised how easy. People talk about street guys. They are the easiest. Because once you just get them where they are, when they want to listen, and it's just part of being sensitive and mature or something. You can actually get anybody you want to get. The woman that talked about people you've been given to the society, but people take it for granted. What I would say to you is that expect nothing in return. Manage your own expectation. Once you manage your expectation, you're all set. If there are people you call you are stupid, and you just laugh about it, and there are times you say you are stupid, and be like, are you serious? Me, it is you that interpreted it differently. It's the same word. So when you are helping people, if you have an expectation, then you might be disappointed. But if it's truly that you want to help the community, hoping nothing in return or minimal thing in return. And I'll give you an example. There's a boy I saw, he was in the community doing nothing, and I said, do you want me to take you to Lagos where you can actually join a fashion designing school and learn fashion designing and go global? Or you want me to buy a machine for you? And he said, I'm already, I don't have trainees to sell. But me, I'll now start again from Lagos. No, this one, if you give me Guinea, 7,000. I'm making almost 7,000. It's okay. And I got machine, and that was it. I know he will come back. Because I know, you see, I'm not dealing with him at the level of my own experience. I am managing my expectations. So I think, let me just, so that I will not drag it, just manage your expectations, continue to give. Out of every 12, there's always one. Do you understand? I will be grateful. Yes. So you always see one person come back. Yes. Okay, so the religious part of it is very sensitive. Nobody wants to talk about religion. There's nothing sensitive about it. We'll talk about it. We are governed by a rule. We have different values and ideals. Your own value in life is different from mine. Our own is also different from mine. And that is why we all decided as a people to have a constitution. And you cannot judge somebody by our own values, which religion is part of it. Religion kind of like changes or modifies people's values. They see world through the lenses of their religion. Unfortunately, it might not apply to me because I belong to a different set. And that is why we have a constitution. So when you see, back to what I said before, a lot of politicians come, they say, how can we divide these people? They throw religion inside. One said go like this, one said go like this. It's just a gimmick. It's because you yourself, you are not equipped enough to be sensitive that they just want to divide us. There's nothing that your Christianity and your Islam betrays upon you that is better or more than mine. You want to go to heaven, that is your personal business. You want to do something, that's your. I grew up in a house. I eat Erolia, I eat Christmas food, I eat everything. Right? In fact, Sari, because when I was in secondary school, Sari was my take over to school food. so in fact, the father was a Muslim, and he would be like, there was a day we were going to school, he took me to school, and he said, it's Friday, you're supposed to dress very well. There's mosque in the afternoon. He was chastising another Muslim lady. So it was, as you just know that there's love here. You see, it's very personal. Religion is very, very personal. So also is value. Some people, I might say I don't eat something. You might say you eat it. Should we judge both of us based on the fact that we don't eat it? Now, when you get to your own church, pray. I have someone that lives with me there. He's there. He prays. Your own room, just go and pray your own prayer. Me, I will go and do my own Sunday service. Just make sure you are praying for me. If your prayer will answer, I will have money. Please. Pray. Do you understand? The most people that are, there's just a lot about it. But so just know that you see, those don't overhang on ephemera. Educate yourself. Make sure we are all judged by the Constitution of Nigeria. That is the only constitution that matters. Let everybody live their life. Live and let live.
So quickly, like when he asked that question, I didn't want to say anything because I know how religious conversations can be. But it's critical that I say it, especially because of my topic today. And so he was talking about the extremism in the extremism displayed from the lines of religion as pertaining to democracy and as pertaining to, I would say, storytelling within the media space. One very critical aspect of this is for young people. Every young person here needs to understand and be conscious of the fact that Nigeria is a multi-religious country and must have respect for that. You must have respect for every religion here practiced in Nigeria. You must have respect for every ethnicity and every culture practiced in Nigeria. And so when you are engaging on social media, it is very important that you engage with people from a place of respect for their religion, respect for their views, respect for their values, and respect for their culture. And this is where, and then when I say that, I'm just grateful to Tutu for this platform. We have to do a lot of sensitization about the use of media. The effective way of telling story, you have to always come from a place of empathy and kindness. There's a way I will talk to someone and the person will not get offensive at what I'm saying because I've taken into cognizance where the
A lot of politicians come, they say, how can we divide these people? They throw religion inside. One said go like this, one said go like this. It's just a gimmick. It's because you yourself, you are not equipped enough to be sensitive that they just want to divide us. There's nothing that your Christianity and your Islam betrays upon you that is better or more than mine. You want to go to heaven, that is your personal business. You want to do something, that's your. I grew up in a house, I eat erolia, I eat Christmas food, I eat everything. In fact, Sari, because when I was in secondary school, Sari was my take over to school food. so, in fact, the father was a Muslim, and he would be like, there was a day we were going to school, he took me to school, and he said, it's Friday, you're supposed to dress very well. There's mosque in the afternoon. He was chastising another Muslim lady. So it was you will just know that there's love here. You see, it's very personal. Religion is very, very personal. So also is value. Some people, I might say I don't eat something. You might say you eat it. Should we judge both of us based on the fact that we don't eat it? Now, when you get to your own church, pray. I have someone that lives with me there. He prays in your own room. Just go and pray your own prayer. Me, I will go and do my own Sunday service. Just make sure you are praying for me. If your prayer will answer, I will have money. Please pray. Do you understand? The most people that are, there's just a lot about it. But so just know that you see those don't overhang on ephemera. Educate yourself. Make sure we are all judged by the Constitution of Nigeria. That is the only constitution that matters. Let everybody live their life. Live and let live.
When he asked that question, I didn't want to say anything because I know how religious conversations can be. But it's critical that I say it, especially because of my topic today. And so he was talking about the extremism the extremism displayed from the lines of religion as pertaining to democracy and as pertaining to, I would say, storytelling within the media space. One very critical aspect of this is for young people. Every young person here needs to understand and be conscious of the fact that Nigeria is a multi-religious country and must have respect for that. You must have respect for every religion here practiced in Nigeria. You must have respect for every ethnicity and every culture practiced in Nigeria. And so when you are engaging on social media, it is very important that you engage with people from a place of respect for their religion, respect for their views, respect for their values, and respect for their culture. And this is where, and then when I say that, I'm just grateful to Tutu for this platform. We have to do a lot of sensitization about the use of media. The effective way of telling story, you have to always come from a place of empathy and kindness. There's a way I will talk to someone and the person will not get offensive at what I'm saying because I'm taking into cognizance where the person is coming from, right? The person's culture, right? So it's important that when we're engaging on social media, that we know that no religion is superior to another, and no culture is superior to another. We must respect that. Then secondly, I am a Christian, but I believe that every religion, the bedrock of every religion is what? Love and humanity. Anything aside from that is foul. Right? So if you're engaging with people on social media and even outside social media, the bedrock of it must be from a place of love and humanity. Thank you.
Well, we're done with this segment. We're actually pressed for time now. But like our panelists have said to all of us, see, hunger is a unifying factor. It does not know your religion and it does not know your education. When somebody wants to cheat you in Nigeria, anyone who tells you, I'm giving this because you're a Muslim, the person is trying to cheat you. That's the truth. When they tell you, àwọn Igbo ni, àwọn Hausa ni, àwọn Yorùbá ni, ó ní nǹkan tó fẹ́ lù ẹ́ jìbìtì. Seriously, where we come from, Osun State, they will tell us not to marry an Ijebu woman. Go and ask any Oshuners. That's the first thing they will tell you. I am telling you that those kind of limitations are things people plant to you. I ended up marrying an Ijebu woman. So, jìbìtì náà lè ṣe ìlú mi. See, at the end of the day, the truth about religion is as she has said. Whether you are a Christian, in my father's house, two of my uncles are Muslim, two of them Christian, the other ones. And honestly, they still interact like doesn't make a difference. Time is changing. And honestly, they are very religious on it now. Go all over the world, they are selling their churches. Our lashing, the moon, and kingdom. Near like the light, our now. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say thank you to Madam, thank you to Doctor, and thank you to our sister. I'd like to ask you to please step down, but Doctor, when you have stepped down, you please make this presentation.